I'm going to try and make this video as brief as I can because for some weird reason, this is actually the second time I'm recording this because I seem to have some really bizarre syncing issues. So if the audio does go out of sync, I do apologise. This is just being recorded directly through webcam and through this microphone here. So if it goes out of sync, I do apologise. So I'll do my best for you. But anyway, on to the main meat of the video because this is a new PC part reveal. And I never thought I'd be doing one again because it's been a couple of months. Ever since I got the Galaxy S9 Plus, I haven't been able to get any more parts recently, but I have now got some. So, I put them away in my drawer. So, what did I get this time? Well, I needed a second storage solution because, to be brutally honest, which is now fallen down, a 256 gig SSD, even though this is an M.2 SSD, so it's going to be super speedy, it's not going to be enough for any additional things. So games, maybe additional files perhaps. This is going to be good for the iOS, key applications, drivers and whatnot, but not so much for additional items. So that's why I picked up one of these. This is my second SSD that I'm going to be fitting in this system. Yep, I'm going for an all SSD build. So no mechanical drives, no spinning disks, no weird noises apart from coming from the fans and so on, but yeah, this is Crucial's MX500 series SSD. It's one of their newest SSDs. In fact, I'm just going to check something out on here because I just want to check the specs of this one. So MX500, got it as 1 terabyte, but I did pick up the 2 terabyte one naturally. This is 2 terabytes as well. Just want to make sure it shows up. Can you see that? Go on, focus. Focus. Are you there? Focus. There it is. Yep. So yeah, this is a genuine 2 terabyte SSD. The reason why I chose this one is mainly because of the price per terabyte or price per gigabyte. This is probably one of the cheapest SSDs on the market. So it cost me £419.99 from Amazon. It came in frustration-free packaging, so it just came in like an envelope of some kind. If I chose standard packaging, it would have cost me around $430, which is still not bad for an SSD. But it does actually feature 3D NAND flash technology, reads and writes up to 560 megabytes per second. I think it's 560 megabytes per second read and 510 meg write speeds. So this is a fast SSD for the money. So it's pretty sweet, really. And as far as I'm concerned, that is kind of it. Yeah, that's all I've got. That's what you're really getting. It's just an SSD at this moment in time. That's it. I did get some other bits just to tide me over. Also, just so I can prepare myself for the end of this build. So I've got myself Windows 10 to install the iOS. This actually comes on a USB stick, so it's really cool. I've just noticed that's the key up there, I guess. So, Origin Island. This is developed on Island, really? Okay, I'll take that. Other things I've got as well, again, they're all mainly in my drawers of purgatory next to my desk. I've actually got 2 of these. These are BitPhoenix Alchemy SATA data cables, and they're silver braided. They look really cool, so that will tie in really nicely with the aesthetic of the Crosshair 6 Hero motherboard. And this is a product that's mainly going to be used when the setup's actually complete. It is a gigantic 3XL size mouse mat, and this is an official Overclockers UK mouse mat, and this one measures in millimeters 1200 by 600, and it's 2mm thick, so it's quite a thin mouse mat compared to some other ones, but this is going to basically cover my entire desk area. You'd expect me to say that's it. That's all the components I've got so far. Well, actually, there's one more component that I need to mention. You see, I've actually got the graphics card now. I've got the last component that I need to actually set this build in motion. So, in terms of my choice, I keep looking down it because I keep admiring how beautiful it is. It's actually part of ASUS's Strix lineup of graphics cards. So it will tie in nicely with the Aura Sync on my motherboard, which will be really easy to work with. And obviously being Asus, I can try and keep things under one bit of software if I can, apart from Corsair for the other bits of lighting. But in terms of the actual GPU chipset, which did I pick? Which did I choose for my 4K gaming PC? Well, after very careful consideration and lots of deliberating, I chose this one. This is the RX Vega 64. Now, before you raise all your pitchforks and all your torches at me for not picking a 1080 Ti, let me explain my choice for this one. You see, I was actually looking at a lot of comparison videos as well as reviews for all the different cards that are on the market, and it was after those reviews I then looked at comparisons, and those comparisons obviously compared the most graphically intense games you can get on the market, which are mainly Rise of the Tomb Raider, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, The Witcher 3, Grand Theft Auto 5, although that's more of a CPU intensive game, Arma 3 I think was one of them as well, but that's kind of from what I remember myself. And out of those comparisons, they mainly compared this Strix, or not this particular Strix card, but the RX Vega 64, the 1080, and the 1080 Ti. They were the main three in those videos. And out of all of them, the top dog in terms of frame rate was the 1080 Ti. And that was at 4K and at 1440p, incidentally. But then I took a step back from those comparisons, because I originally decided there and then I was going to get a 1080 Ti for this PC. But then I took a step back, and I had a really careful thought process of, what do I mainly play on PC? Racing. So that's Forza Motorsport, Project Cars, Assetto Corsa, and some arcade races like Need for Speed, Burnout is one of them, plus mainly also indie games, some indie games here and there that interest me, and also platformers. I mainly play platformers as well, and that included Crash Bandicoot, and if it's true, the new Spyro remaster, if that comes out, sweet. And Cuphead was a more recent one. But after looking at those comparison videos in all the games that I've seen, it showed that the RX Vega was actually a very, very capable graphics card at 4K resolution. So I kept thinking, why would I want to go out and spend so much money on a 1080 Ti when I'm not going to really need all that headroom? And then it clicked. You may have noticed that a couple of times I've said 4K gaming PC, not 4K 60 gaming PC. Because to be honest, I really couldn't give a flying fuck about frame rates. I really can't. All I want to do mainly is play games in 4K, but enjoy playing them. Even if the frame rate is like locked at 30 frames per second or even 24 frames per second, I'm okay with that. As long as the visual fidelity is there. I'm actually one of those people who cares more about visual fidelity and visual detail over frame rate. I just don't care about frame rate. I mean, it's a nice bonus to get 60 frames per second, I guess, but no, not for me. Really not for me, because here's a good prime example, Drive Club on PS4. They focused more on visual detail. Even though it's only a 1080p resolution game, they focused more on visual detail. If they focused on frame rate, they wouldn't get the game that they were hoping for. And that's my thought process with this one. So I chose this one, this Strix RX Vega 64 card over a 1080 Ti because of those reasons. That, and of course the games that I play. I mean, in fair point, if I was mainly an FPS fan, so Call of Duty, Battlefield, Overwatch is another one, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and more recently Fortnite, if I played those games, I would then need, yes, I would need an Nvidia card and G-Sync to get the best from that. But I don't. I came to the conclusion that I didn't actually need 4K 60Hz in my life. I mean, it's as I said, it's a nice bonus, but I don't really necessarily need it. It's a nice thing to have, but really, I much prefer detail over frame rate, I guess. And I will actually tell you the truth as well. This is actually the second time I've recorded this particular segment. Originally it was going to be a rant, and it actually did come out as a rant, but this one is more of a ramble, just a general thought process, more relaxed, rather than stressing myself out over nothing really. But that was one thing that did annoy me, is that in the comments of those comparison videos, a lot of people absolutely seem to shit all over the Vega cards because they're not capable of delivering 60 FPS in 4K resolution. In reality they are, but it just depends on the games you're playing. And because of that, people seem to just clamber all over Nvidia and really want to go with them. But in reality, I really don't care. As long as it's a very capable card. And the RX Vega is a capable card, it's just that people don't seem to perceive that. And that's what really annoyed me. So that's why the RX Vega 64 was my graphics card of choice. And that's what's going to be powering my 4K, not 60, but 4K resolution PC. I hope you can all understand where I'm coming from. I hope you can all understand why this has been more of a ramble, but that's what I do. I'm just a ramble channel, I guess. But thank you very much for watching. Cheers, everybody, and I will see you when I build the PC fully. When it's done, I'm more than happy to show you. Cheers, everyone.